Y'all, wouldn't it really be a gag if Reesa Teesa turned out to be the pathological liar and the whole story was made up? We know that that's not the case. I just had that thought and thought it was funny. What I really want to talk about is storytelling. There's a lot of content coming out now that's following up on the Reesa Teesa 52-part series where she's talking about the story of her marriage to a pathological liar. And much of that content is talking about the success of that series in growing her followers and estimates on how much she might have earned by monetizing that series, etc. And so naturally, a lot of content creators on TikTok who are thinking about growth and opportunity are thinking about ways that they can duplicate Reesa Teesa's success. First of all, please spare us your attempts at trying that. We don't need another one. But I do think that what we can learn from Reesa Teesa is that as long as human beings are human beings, we are always going to have an appetite for good storytelling, regardless of the medium, regardless of the budget, regardless of whether or not the storyteller has any bells and whistles, we are going to be attracted to a great story. So here's what I think we can take away from Reesa Teesa's success as a storyteller that you can learn from and apply to your own approach to storytelling in your content. Whether or not you find anything about Reesa Teesa relatable, she is an unlikely main character. We don't typically hear these dramatic stories of love, deceit, and scandal from women like Reesa Teesa, your average, working class, middle-aged, plus-size Black woman in Atlanta. So off the bat, there's something a little bit intriguing about her particular point of view, simply because we're not used to it. So when you're thinking about the stories that you tell on your platform, or you're using storytelling as a device to lure people into your content, think about the narratives in which your particular point of view, something about your identity and perspective, is unexpected in the context of the story you're about to tell. How can you offer an angle that audiences are not used to seeing? Another thing that Reesa Teesa did extremely well that captivated her audience was that she started at the end of the story and then went back to the beginning and gradually worked her way up to that starting point. So we as the audience know from the gate that this man is a pathological liar. We just don't know how his lies get revealed. That's the reason why people watched video after video waiting to find out how that big reveal occurred. So although we've been conditioned to know that stories have a beginning, middle, and end, when you're telling your stories on a platform like this that is designed for short form content, you need to mix that order up a little bit. Start at the end. Make the end of the story your hook so that people really feel like they're missing out on something if they don't wait and see what happened. And one last storytelling tip that we can take from Reesa Teesa is that details matter if you're going to create a level of investment from your audience. Even content that is specifically designed to educate viewers often resonates more deeply when the person who's doing the educating incorporates a personal story about what qualifies them to give you that piece of advice. I give lots of advice about personal branding and content creation, but if you go to my profile, you'll also find several posts where I give background on my career story, my personal development story, the things that have happened in my world and my life, and the aspects of my identity that shaped me and got me to the place of wanting to contribute to my community in this way. So if you're creating content with the intention of building an engaged community, people who are loyal to you and not just the information that you provide, storytelling has to be a part of that. And we got to care about the characters in any given story. And how do we care about the characters? By getting to know them, understanding the details about who they are and their life and their journey. And one of the ways that we know that Reesa Teesa did this extremely well is that so many people have been rooting for that woman to get to London and Paris. That was one little insight she gave us about her personal dreams and aspirations, but it created a deeper affinity between her viewers and her. It enhanced her hero story, so to speak, because one of the ways that we want to see this story resolved and have a happily ever after is for Reesa Teesa to get to London and Paris. And she recently posted that she is in fact going to London and Paris, so shout out to her. But that just goes to show that it's the details that make your story and the characters in your story memorable. Did y'all watch all 52 parts? Let me know in the comments what other storytelling tips can we learn from Reesa Teesa. For more, follow me at Branding by Bri and go to the URL in my bio to learn how you can work with me directly to build your brand online. Mwah.